What's going on YouTube? So the Toyota Camry really doesn't need an introduction since pretty much everybody in America has had some kind of experience with one. As one of the best-selling cars of all time, every little update is important to buyers, which is why we're checking out the latest 2022 example today. But without wasting any time, let's go ahead and jump right into the review and see what's new for 2022. So today we have the LE trim level with us because, as you can probably see behind me, that is the only one available. But we wanted to go ahead and show you guys the 2022, so here we are. Up here in the front, since this was just refreshed last year, you're going to notice those same changes do carry over. So you continue to have those two design themes. If you have the LE or the XLE, you have the luxury theme. That's going to give you this fascia here, which is wider and kind of goes all the way across the front end. If you choose the SE or the XSE, that's going to give you the more aggressive sport fascia. Now coming over here to your headlights, one of the nice touches about this Camry is that it's always came standard with full LED headlights. So you have LED low and high beams, even on the base LE trim level. However, if you choose the X trim levels, that's going to upgrade you to the fancier arrangement, which will give you the LED daytime running light as well as the LED turn signal. Now, even though this is the base LE, we do still have an alloy rim. This is going to be 17 inches. Of course, as you can see, it is silver. You have 18-inch alloys on your SE and XLE, and then a 19-inch alloy on the XSE. And then heading up here to your mirrors, the X trims will come standard with heating and blind spot monitoring. Those systems don't come on the LE or the SE until you get the convenience package.
All right, so as far as the side is concerned, nothing has changed for the 2022 Camry. And then walking around to the rear design, I've always been a fan of the way this looks. They've given it a very sporty design, which is something that, the previous generation Camrys totally didn't have, and I've always loved this generation. Now, of course, they did update it last year for the refresh, so we have Camry spelled out across the back here. And then as far as our taillights are concerned, they are going to be a nice smoked finish. And they're also going to be partially LED. We have a LED brake light right here. However, our turn signal and reverse light are going to be incandescent unless you get the LED headlights in the front on the X trims. That will give you the full LED taillights. Then if we drop down on this LE model, we're going to have an exposed exhaust outlet on the right side. If you want the SE, that's going to have two exposed exhaust outlets on the right side, and the XSE will further add quad exhaust. Now, the Camry has always been really good about throwing in all of your safety systems as standard equipment. That's of course going to continue for 2022 since their Safety Suite 2.5 systems are standard on every single model. That'll include forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, as well as auto high beam headlamps. Well guys, we appreciate you making it this far in the video. We're about to check out the inside and then we'll take it out in a spin. But before we do that, please hit that subscribe button down below. It really helps us out. Also follow us on our other social medias like TikTok as well as Instagram.
So walking up to the Camry, since this is the LE trim level, we do have the standard keyless entry system, which comes with the switchblade design key. On the LE and the SE, you can get a convenience package, which will give you smart entry, and the X trims will come standard with that feature. And taking a look inside of the cabin, of course this model is coming off a refresh, so you're not going to see any substantial interior changes, but there are a couple feature details which I will point out as we go through the video. But let's go ahead and talk interior material and color options. So on this LE, you are going to have cloth seating with your choice of black, ash, or macadamia color options. The SE, of course, is going to come with the Softex partial leatherette seats, and then your XLE and XSE will come with real leather seats, including the XSE having a special red option. Now turning over here to your door trim, it is pretty nicely finished. We do have a padded soft touch material across the armrest portion. Along the top is also going to be soft touch as well, and we have the nice silver accent. As far as the windows, they're one touch auto up and down for all four. And then taking a look here at the seats, these are going to be 8-way power adjusting with 2-way lumbar support. That is standard on all models. Like I was saying, we do have the cloth seat here on the LE. I'm a fan of the way this is designed. Even though it's a basic car, they definitely gave it a good design with different textured cloth patterns as well as stitching details, and then a little Alcantara insert right there. So it's pretty nice, and it is also comfortable. Now, taking a look around the cabin itself and the cabin materials, I am happy to report that even if you choose the base LE trim level, you're not going to find a degradation of materials versus the other trim levels. So across the upper dash, this is all going to be finished in a nice soft touch plastic. As we move down, you have some piano black accents. You also have this pretty cool faux aluminum trim that kind of bends around and runs down. I like the look of this. You also have this leatherette area that runs down through here and along the side of the passenger. This continues to have a very unique design to the center console, and then down through here, everything of course will be hard touch, but fits together extremely nicely as you expect in a Toyota. As you can see, we do actually have a key, like I was mentioning earlier. You can get push button start if you go for the convenience package on the LE or the SE. So starting out here with our gauge cluster, of course this is a traditional style gauge cluster. We've got a 4.2-inch multifunction display in the middle for your lower two trim levels, a 7-inch display in the middle for your upper two trim levels, and of course it does have all the typical expected information, including things regarding your safety systems right there. The highest end models can also be optioned on with a head-up display. And then taking a look here at our steering wheel, this is going to be the urethane steering wheel. All the other models are going to come with a leather wrapped one. And as far as the adjustment, it will be manual tilt and telescoping. Heating is also available via a cold weather package. But let's go ahead and take a look at interior storage, because this is an area that has always impressed me about this generation of the Camry. So as we lift up the center console here, you're going to notice a massive amount of space. This is really a fantastic center console here. We do have a nice felt lining down there at the bottom. It is deep and wide. And check this out. We stick our coupons in there. I don't even barely have to fold them, so fits in there perfectly. We do also have some USB ports right there as well. In addition to that, you got your two cup holders. Up here in the front, you're going to notice a nice little tray here. You can option on wireless charging to the LE or the SE. And then we've got some additional connections right there. This furthermore slides back and reveals another storage area where you can stick something and actually hide it away. So I definitely like the storage solutions here in the Camry. Now pulling back here to the shifter. Of course, you can pull back for drive, bump over here to the left if you want to shift manually. However, you won't find any power shifters on the steering wheel for the LE or the XLE. The sport-oriented SE and XSE will have power shifters. And then coming up here to the backup camera, this is the standard backup camera. So it does not have active trajectory. These lines are actually fixed guidelines. You would get active trajectory on the X trim levels. And then furthermore, you can even get a 360-degree camera system as an option on those top-end trim levels. One of the other differences with the LE versus your higher end models is the fact that you don't have the electronic parking brake. You have the foot activated brake. But now I want to take our attention to one of the important 2022 updates, and that's the fact that we now have a dual zone automatic climate control setup even on the base LE trim level. So previously the LE had manual climate control, the SE had a single zone automatic. Now, just across the entire board is going to be this dual zone automatic climate control setup. That's a nice touch. especially at this price point. As you can see, simple operation with nice physical buttons all through there. This specific example does not have heated seats. Heated seats are going to be standard on your X trim levels, and seat ventilation is also available as an option on those trim levels. And now we'll come on up here to our audio system. So of course, this being an LE means we're going to have the base 6-speaker sound system, and we'll go ahead and give that a sample right now. Yeah, so overall sound quality of this system is actually pretty nice for a 6-speaker sound system. But of course, if you're a huge audiophile, definitely consider upgrading to a higher end trim level and getting that JBL sound system. Okay, so let's take our attention now to our displays. So if you remember last year, we did kind of update this design here with the display. It's partially integrated and partially sticks up on the dashboard now. LE and SE are going to come with this 7-inch display. XLE and XSE will come with a 9-inch display instead. You can also get that 9-inch display on the LE or the SE trim levels with some optional equipment. Regardless of which trim level you choose, you do have standard Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities, the wired variety, and then the dynamic navigation system is optional on the X trim levels. As we rise on up here, you'll find a manual dimming mirror on this LE. We do have some LED lighting. I actually have a sunglass holder, which you don't find all that often on cars these days. And then up here at the top, we don't have a moonroof on this specific example. LE and SE can option on a standard size moonroof. The X trim levels can option on a panoramic sunroof. Alright guys, so I've now climbed into the back seat of this Camry, and of course, as the Camry has always been known for, we have very spacious accommodations. So the technical measurements are going to be 38 inches of legroom and 38 inches of headroom. That of course is a very class competitive number, bigger actually than a lot of the competition. And as far as behind my own seating position at 5'8", looks like I've got a lot of space. I would say probably a foot here. I do have plenty of space to wiggle my feet up and down, so this is very comfortable. I can almost stretch all the way out. Now, we are in the LE trim level, so you're not going to find a ton of features back here. But I will point out over here, we have this hole right here. This is where the vents would be on the X trim levels. You can option them onto the LE or the SE trim level. Over here on the passenger side, you've got a seat back pocket. And we do still have the armrest that folds down with the cup holders inside. Now heading up to the trunk, of course we don't have smart entry on this example, so you can just hold down the little button on the key fob, pop it open. As you can see, it is nicely dampened in a way that rises it up automatically by itself, but also doesn't slam it at the end. And once you look inside here, you're going to find 15.1 cubic feet of space. That is quite a bit of space. That's a little bit behind the Honda Accord, but that's ahead of a lot of the competition. And like I said, that's a lot of space really for any type of need. Looking inside of here, you're going to notice you have illumination. You do have 2 pull handles here to fold the seats 60-40 split. On this specific example, we have some all-weather mats with Camry branding, and then underneath you do have a spare tire. So checking out the passenger seat, we do have manual adjusting seat, as you would expect. Check out the glove box here. This is a nice size. This is kind of a shelf design, so it's flat, and you can stick your objects in there. Looks like it's built to be just enough space for the full stack of coupons as far as the width, and then there's plenty of height for some extra ones. As we go up top to the visor here, we do have a mirror and light, as well as an extension on the end. All right, so here we are, of course, in the Camry LE. Most of the models, as just with all the previous years, are going to come with the naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. That's what this one has, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, excuse me. 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. It's making 203 horsepower. If you choose the XSE, you're going to get 3 more horsepower from the 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you still have your hybrid options offered, which we'll talk about in a separate review. And then you've got the V6 offerings as well, which will be on the TRD and the XSE, but new for 2022. No longer offered on the XLE.
Yeah, and that V6 does have 301 horsepower. That's definitely a really nice engine to have, but I don't imagine they sold very many XLE V6, which is why it's gone this year.
Also, go ahead and talk about the transmission. Of course, we do have the 8-speed automatic transmission. Like we've said in past reviews, it's a good transmission. Toyota tunes this to be very responsive, is one thing I've noticed compared to some of the competition. If you change your throttle position just a bit, it's really ready to kick down and give you that extra power, which is good. And that's the way that they tune it across all of the lineup.
And you are going to have front-wheel drive. They do also have the option of all-wheel drive. That's going to be only for the 4-cylinder, though. That was added, I believe, last year or maybe the year before, the all-wheel drive option. So now you have that, which is really an awesome thing to have for a mid-size sedan. A lot of them don't have that right now. And that does mean for your fuel economy, there are a lot of different combos for all the different configurations. This one, as equipped with the 4-cylinder, is going to be 32 combined. And like I said, it ranges quite a bit, depending on what model you get. But I want to take a second here to mention the ride quality, because I don't think this would be a very good review at all if we didn't mention the Camry and its ride quality, especially here in the LE trim level. This vehicle really is one of the best riding cars that you can get for this price point. It really is a comfortable riding vehicle. It's family first, and especially, like I said, in the LE, XLE trim levels, it really just is focused on comfort.
Right, this has the smaller 17-inch alloy rims, so you have the thicker tire, which definitely does help the ride quality even more than as comfortable as it already is. We'll go ahead and grab our sound sample at 55 miles an hour today. .7. That's a really, really good reading. Actually, a lot of luxury cars we test are sitting at around that 55 decibel mark. Yeah, and it's windy today, too.
Yeah, so really impressive. Like I was mentioning before, this is just family first comfort, and that sound level reading goes right into that.
Now let's go ahead and head into today's airball and slam dunk. So I think for the slam dunk, that's just going to be the all-around family package.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you can really tell when you drive one of the basic trim levels like this LE, is just that even though this is a more affordable model, this is still really geared towards, giving you and your family all that you need, and you're not going to be penalized for going for that lower trim level either. Now, on the flip side of that, for the airball today, I want to talk about the convenience package. You've heard me mention it in this review. I kind of feel like that should be standard equipment on the LE, or at least the SE trim level, because that does include some stuff like blind spot monitoring. A lot of people are looking for that, and
smart entry.
A good deal of the competition offer that as well as standard.
Let's talk pricing. So for 2022, the prices rise a few $100, nothing significant. So the LE is going to start at $25,295. And then it goes all the way up to pretty much any price point that you want to have this Camry at. A lot of the fully loaded ones are over $40,000. The sticker on this model, like Drew said, we don't really have any options on this. It's an LE with floor mats plus the 1,025 destination is going to be $26,579.
So to conclude, this is actually the first time that we've been behind the wheel of the LE trim level, and I'm kind of glad to do it because this really shows you guys the value that's packed into the Camry. Like I said, at all the price points, even the base model has really a lot of equipment. including the 2022 updates as well with the extra features. The Camry just remains as solid of an option as ever. Well guys, we hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at the 2022 Toyota Camry LE. Of course, as always, if you found this video useful or interesting, we'd really appreciate it if you'd support us and our channel by hitting that subscribe button as well as liking this video. Make sure to check out our other content related to the Toyota lineup as well as all this vehicle's competitors. And we hope to see you next time. Take care.